Pet Feed PLC has outstanding a high yield bond with the following features. Face value 10,000 pounds. So the first point where usually students go wrong or will have a fear in examination because you see the currency pounds. Suddenly a foreign currency will come. Now you're not worried, but once we do foreign exchange chapter, you will realize. And foreign exchange chapter, and you have something like bond, the confusion starts. Coupon rate 10%, that is fine. Maturity period 6 years, that is also fine. Special feature, the company can extend the life of the bonds to 12 years. 12 years from what? 6 years is maturity period. They can extend it to 12-year, meaning they can extend it for additional 6 years. This is not after 6 years, 12 more years. So 6 plus 6. This is like in leasing and all, you have one renewal option, licenses. Initially this much. If you want, you can extend it further. You have the choice. So this 12, you understand it as 6 plus 6. Presently, interest rate on equivalent bonds is 8%. That is the expected rate of return, or you can say that is yield. If an investor expects that interest rate will be 8%, when 6 years from now, then how much he should pay for this bond now? Tell me, this 8% and this 8%, are they same or different? Now, this 8% is presently the rate of interest. So, therefore, this 8% is applicable from 0 to 6 years at present. What is this 8%? In the question they mentioned, it is 6 years from now, 8%. That is after 6 years, the rate of is 8%, which basically means they are telling one simple sentence. The rate of interest remains same even after 6 years. They could have told like that, but they are telling this. They could have told investors' expectation remains same even after 6 years. That would have been very simple sentence, but anybody would have become CA then. So they don't want to use that sentence. But what is the significance of that point? Now, company can extend. Now the question is, when will they extend and when will they not extend? When, in which situation company will extend and in which situation company will not extend. You should think from company perspective because they have the choice, not from feeling. Company cannot have feeling. Whenever they want, you extend, otherwise you don't extend. It can become government but not company. You cannot go by the feeling, emotions. So when will company will extend? Whenever it is beneficial to them. Now, after 6 years, I'm not talking now, I'm talking after 6 years, company has two choices. One, continue the bond or redeem this bond and go for new bond for new sources. If you continue this bond, how much coupon will you require to pay? If you continue, you have to continue making a payment of 10%. That is your existing commitment will continue. But if you don't continue, you redeem this and you go for a fresh bond after 6 years, fresh bond. What will be the coupon of fresh bond? Coupon of fresh bond will be the rate prevailing at that point of time, which will be 8%. So which is better from a company perspective? 8% is better because they will be paying less. So most likely, if this is the expectation, after 6 years company will redeem the bond, meaning we discuss 6 plus 6, that 6 will not happen. because company is having a benefit in redeeming this old bond and issue of a new bond. Therefore, company is likely to redeem after 6 years. The life of the bond will likely to be 6 years. Suppose if they did not tell 8%, if they tell 9%, the answer is still same. But what will be your discounting rate to compute the present value of the bond? That is 8%. To compute the present value of the bond today, you should take today required rate of return, which is 8%. This 9% is applicable after 6 years. So this 8%, this information is only to decide whether company will redeem or company will continue. This will not have impact on current rate of interest. Suppose if they give 11%, so what will you do then? What will company do? It will continue. So life of the bond will be 12 years. They will extend. They will not redeem it after 6 years, because if you go for it, you have to pay 11%. It's better you continue it at 10%. So while discounting factor should be, how do you calculate? Year 1 to 12 you should calculate. And what is the discounting rate you are going to use? 8% for 6 years. Remaining 6 years will be 11%, because 12 years is your horizon. Expectation, that complication will not happen in examination. I'm just telling you so that this becomes more easier. Year 1 to 6 will continue to be expected rate of return of 8%. But year 7 to 12, that discounting factor should happen at two levels. That is 7 to 12, you discount it at 11%, but then from 7 to 0 you should come. That will be further discounting it at 8%. That much complication will not happen, but just be aware of it, how the calculations will apply. Now, second part, now suppose on the basis of the expectation you invest in the bond, but the interest rate turns out to be 12% 6 years from now. They are giving higher rate. What will be the potential loss if the company extend life of the bond by another 6 years? But this 12% is slightly different, because when will you know this 12%? They said turns out to be. As on date, you don't know. This information is known to the investor only after 6 years, not now. So this point we'll keep it separate. First we'll solve point A, write down few points, then we'll solve it. Solution is faster, interpretation is important. So point A, so write down, company has an option, company has an option to issue the bonds. Company has an option to extend the bond beyond 6 years, beyond 6 years, up to 12 years, beyond 6 years, up to 12 years. Next sentence, company will extend, company will extend if interest rate, company will extend if interest rate in the market, interest rate in the market is more than the coupon rate. Interest rate in the market is more than the coupon rate, because if the bond is continued, because if the bond is continued, company will have a benefit of, company will have a benefit of paying interest, company will have a benefit of paying interest with less coupon rate. less coupon rate. So then you write point A against this point A. We are solving this point A problem. So point A, it is given that it is given that expected rate of interest after 6 years, expected rate of interest after 6 years will be 8%. Expected rate of interest after 6 years will be 8%, which is same as current market rate, which is same as current market rate. Next sentence, this is lesser than coupon rate. This is lesser than coupon rate, and hence company will be benefited. Company will be benefited by company will be benefited by redeeming the existing bond, redeeming the existing bond after 6 years, redeeming the existing bond after 6 years, and issue the new bond, issue the new bond issue the new bond at a coupon rate equivalent to at a coupon rate equivalent to, can you tell me what is that coupon rate will be? At a coupon rate equivalent to 8%. This is market rate then, at a coupon rate equivalent to 8%. So that so that there is saving in coupon of saving in coupon of 2%. So that there is in coupon of 2%. Okay, so with this discussion, hence at present at present life of the bond will be life of the bond will be how much? Life of the bond will be 6 years, because you're extending, the bond will not extend. You're expecting the bond will not expand. That's why we have written that sentence. Hence, life of the bond will be at present, whatever written at present, life of the bond will be 6 years, and required rate of return is 8%. 8%. What is most important is this. We'll write down now. This 8% is which 8%? Given in point A or given in main part of the problem? The required rate of return 8% is the main part of the problem, not this 8%, because this 8% is after 6 years. So write that within brackets. You written 8% within brackets given in main paragraph of the question, given in main paragraph of the question, and not as per question A. Given in main paragraph of the question and not as per question A. Not as per question A. Okay. Then you know how to calculate. Very simple. Year 1 to 6. Year 6. Coupon will be 1000. Redemption price 10,000. Discounting factor means annuity factor. Then last year discounting factor. Multiply. Sum it. This you do it faster. You can quickly copy it down. This you can quickly write it down. So don't worry about computing. You can write it down. By doing redemption of the existing bond. Which is not the case, no? 8% is lesser than 10%. We are discussing when it is beneficial, but in this case they are not doing it because the coupon rate is more, the market rate is less, and that will take care of situation. If the question said not 8 12% or 14%, then it's better you will convert it, you will continue it. Okay, so quickly write down this first part of the question. The second part is even more interesting. Again, these are all different situations. These are not really concepts, different situations. And why this situation is covered? Because it has come in previous exams. That's all. And these kind of questions are more likely to repeat because of the performance of students in exam. Usually students don't do this. So usually these kind of questions repeat. So whenever you expect, like we do stock projections, I also do exam question projections. These kind of questions will have a higher weightage. Even if you predict 20 questions, you can expect 3 4 questions in exam. Okay, let's do the second part. That is most important. Now, what is this number now? 10,924.9. That is the current market price. And what is the information they have given? How much he should pay for this bond now. So if the person is investing now, he will be paying 10,924.9, and every year he will get 1,000, and last year he will get 10,000 is his expectation, because sixth year may not be the redemption price, because on sixth year if company extends, what will this investor should do? Your expectation is every year you receive 1,000 rupees as coupon, and last year you are going to receive 10,000 rupees as redemption price, thinking that after 6 year redemption will happen. This is your expectation at market rate of 8%. But on that day what happened, we don't know. On that day, if companies benefiting to extend, then they will make it as 12 years. What will happen to this person? Will he receive 10,000? He will not receive 10,000 because redemption is not happening. Then what he has to do to exit his position? If he wants to exit, of course, he should sell in the market. And what will happen to that market price? That market price will be based on present value of cash flow of remaining 6 years. That's what the second part of the problem. Now suppose on the basis of this expectation, he invests in the bond. That means he paid this 9,924 something. But interest rate turns out to be 12% 6 years from now. Now what will happen? Read the first point what you have written. The company will extend when the rate of interest in the market is more than the coupon rate. Here 12% is more than the 10%. Company will extend. And when company extend, the investor expectation did not come true. As against redemption price, he has to sell in the market. So what is his loss if company extend beyond 6 years? Now you don't think, they only have given company will extend, because that is the benefit. And what is the cash flow from that point onwards? Your coupon will be 10% for remaining 6 years. So remaining 6 years will be, you will have same 1,000 rupees and 10,000 rupees. But what will be discounting rate? Discounting rate will be at then rate of 12%. And what will you be writing this year? Will you write 1 to 6 or will you write 7 to 12? It is actually 7 to 12, but you write 1 to 6. But because you are standing at the end of 6th year, you are not calculating as on date, you are calculating the market price existing at the point of 6th year end, which is remaining 6 years. So though it is from today 7 to 12, but we are not calculating from today, we are calculating at the point of 6th year end. So we have to calculate for year 1 to 6. So write down those points. Point B, 964. 924 only I'm getting. I think that that typing is mistake. That's 4622, not 4662. 4622. When you multiply, just check it out. By looking at it, you'll get no 4.662. So it's 4.462. Okay. Okay. Now write down point B. After 6 years, after 6 years, coupon rate. Sorry, after 6 years, market rate is 12%. Market rate is 12%, which is higher than coupon rate of 10%. Which is higher than coupon rate of 10%. Higher than coupon rate of 10%. Higher than coupon rate of 10%, and hence company will extend the bond. Company will extend the bond. Company will extend the bond. This is against. This is against investors. This is against investors' earlier expectation. This is against investors' earlier expectation. Hence, investor will exit. Investor will exit at market price prevailing at the end of sixth year. Market price prevailing at the end of sixth year, instead of instead of redemption price. Instead of redemption price. One more sentence. Market price will be present value of cash flows. Market price will be present value of cash flows. Present value of cash flows from year 7 to 12. From year 7 to 12. From year 7 to 12. But discounting factors continues to be for discounting factors continues to be for year 1 to 6. Year 1 to 6, because market price is computed standing as on 6th year end. Standing as on 6th year end. So quickly write down this table. The present value computation, market price computation, year 1 to 6. So within brackets you can write 7 to 12, but it's actually 1 to 6 because it's after 6th year. Cash flow same, 1000, 10,000. Discounting factor at 12%, the market rate standing on that time, and discounted cash flow. But the requirement of the question is not market price. What is requirement of the problem is the potential loss or gain, and that is computed by the difference between his investment price and sale price. He invested at 10,924, that will be his purchase price. Now he is selling at in the market at 9177, therefore potential loss is difference, that is equal to 1747. It's a very interesting question. It has come in the exam only one time, but definitely has a higher chance of repetition. Long time back, even recent. Fine. 5066. Okay. Fine. So this is the bond valuation. Now after the bond valuation, next component will be to move towards share valuation. And that is much more complicated because we don't know what is the income. At least in bond valuation, we know the income is coupon redemption price. Shares is completely uncertain. So various theories, various formulas, all are just opinions. There is no one single answer like we have bond. That will be the next session. And next session I'll be doing YouTube live also. So if anybody wants, in general, want to understand about the share price, you can ask them to attend. That will be for a generic thing like a mini workshop. So anybody wants to know in general about the shares, so we'll be talking about shares, charts, how do you look at the company's balance sheets, P&L account. So we will be doing like everything, a crash course kind of thing in the next class. So we will do a overall introduction in one full day, and then we'll take up one by one subsequently. So we'll stop at this point today. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, no class. Next we will have Monday evening, and test will be there on Sunday. Again, I'll keep it open between uh, what I'll close it by 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock I'll close it. So please make sure you upload it, and while uploading, you just write the heading of the question also. You are writing, but I'm just confirming that question 4 solution or question 5 solution, something like that, so that it will be more clearer. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. See you on Monday at evening 6 o'clock. So please practice and then write the test. Have